is Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath 1.02 R15 beta. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I know it's meaningful to the people who play Kane's Wrath. At the top, we have TheGuest, who I'm told is Drive, and at the bottom, we have EcLIpse as the nod. Drive is plain old GDI. I'm actually starting to get the hang of this a little bit, I think, so hopefully this goes okay for us. TheGuest is yellow GDI, and of course at the bottom we have EcLIpse being the green nod. This is supposed to be the no poker version of the map. We see that Saboteur going out to capture that Tiberium Spike, and this engineer over here doing the same thing. This militant squad out and about. I think there was a barracks there temporarily. Hand of Nod, I guess, is the correct term. And over here, we never had a GDI barracks. It was just a watchtower. I'm interested to see. It looks like the militant squad... No, I thought they were going to win, but the riflemen actually pulled it out with four models remaining. So, there we go. Pretty standard opening at this point for TheGuest. Got some GDI nod plinging away at each other there in those structures. Happens a lot on this map. And for EcLIpse, we have basically what you'd expect so far in the match. We have that second refinery coming out. Just got some harvesters getting pumped out of that war factory. Nothing too fancy going on right now. No rushes or anything. We do have that buggy out for scouting. One thing I think is kind of fun about the Command & Conquer games is they actually give you a little bit of... come on. I can't even see the mini-map right now. Because both players are actually moving their MCVs. There we go. That's Spidery Boy from EcLIpse setting up now. And what happened? There's the guests. Let's see. He may be moving. I'm not entirely sure why he's going that. Interesting. He's packing up kind of early there. Nothing too exciting going on here. Just more of the same. Pitbull out. I think two Pitbulls actually. Gonna probably catch and kill this damaged Raider buggy. But not before we get a little bit of a scout in potentially on what's going on over here. Yep, that buggy is going to get a scout in, but will probably go down pretty quick to this Pitbull, and there it goes. Still continuing to expand their economic operations for both players. Oh, he moved just far enough to be able to get this refinery here. That's the mark of a good player, obviously. Got some tanks out. Got a barracks out as well. Hand of Nod, of course. So, for his part, EcLIpse is starting to ramp up his economic operations, ramp up his military production as well. Gonna push out to do a little bit of harassment, it looks like. I think that's probably enough Pitbulls to deter these Scorpions from doing too much. Let's see. I don't see anyone with Tier 2 out yet. I wonder why this power plant is so out in the open. That seems like a bad place to put them to me, but I'm not the expert. I'm just watching and talking about it. Militants getting spotted by these patrolling pit bulls, but not killed. So, but those riflemen will take out those militants pretty handily. So that's actually denying the scout. Transitioning now into predators and getting out Tier 2. TheGuest is preparing his own offensive, and we have the airfield out. Air is, of course, a favorite tactic of GDI. We also have Tier 2 out for EcLIpse. Little skirmishes going on all over the place. Raider buggy's still out scouting. Of course, also the hallmark of a good player is constantly keeping tabs on your opponent. That Scorpion tank actually getting the scout in on this as well. So this is what you want to see from high-level play. Everyone is all over the map, everywhere, getting as much vision as they can. That Raider buggy does get a scout in on these hammerheads. Going down, and those, of course, are being repaired. Orca Strike gonna come in and harass, if not take out, some infrastructure. Looks like we have an opportunity to scout that Orca Strike. A little bit of missile damage. Not going to take anything out. Let's see. I don't think it's going to kill. It missed its target, so not hugely effective. Is there anything in these hammerheads? No, but they do have AP ammo, which increases their damage, allowing them to pick off these missile squads. But stealth tanks, which is really fun to see, and also the air tower out for EcLIpse. Over here, I did miss something interesting happening. Harvesters. Why are there not harvesters up here? He knows they're there. Not attacking them. Weird. The guest is a little late. We do have tier 3 up. A little late in moving out his MCV. It looks like he's crossing the map. I don't know where he's going. It looks like he's going to be offensive with it, potentially. We do have a lot of vehicles out right now for the guest. Small little upgraded Scorpion tanks. They do have those dozer blades as well as laser capacitors, but there's not enough stuff here to take out. Well, maybe there is just enough. We've got Venoms, and we have some other tanks come in. Neither player committing too heavily to that particular engagement, and the MCV move to contest. Oh, Reclamator Hub. I see what's going on. He's going to try to Marvest his opponent's resources. That is sneaky. Still, this Reclamator Hub is going to go down pretty quick. The MCV is not necessarily going to be able to, well, no, not really committing too heavily to it. Does sell it off and out-pop these zone troopers. Yep, good call. That that would have been the end of the Reclamator Hub right there. So possibly going to try that again. I'm not sure. We do have some tier 3 coming out from the guest. Meanwhile, EcLIpse with his own tier 4, his Redeemer engineering facility. Not going to get that killed with a single Orca Strike. We also have the Secret Shrine for high-tier infantry and infantry upgrades. Gonna try not to miss too much of the combat going on. The Hand of Nod sold off. Obelisk coming out. That is going to put a bit of a damper on whatever the guest is trying to do. Reclamator Hub back up, so we're going to have a Redeemer. There he is, an immediate sell-off of that. And a Disruption Tower for stealth on the Redeemer as well. What? Nice. So Redeemer going to put a real hurt on this army. Not a lot out here, actually, for the guest right now. And Redeemer going to be able to take out this stuff without too much trouble. I think, actually, it may be hard for this MCV even to get away in the first place against the Redeemer. Rage Gen going off, catching a couple of units. I don't know. Didn't seem like a big hit to me. Redeemer taking some damage. Marv doing its Marvesting, getting those resources. Well, not doing as much as it should, but getting some anyway. There we go. And the Redeemer goes down. Oh, no. The Mammoth took it out. Mammoth and I guess this Sonic Emitter, and maybe the Marv too. That's a big blow for EcLIpse. Really hurting right now. There's not a ton of stuff here for the GDI. We do have some transports coming in. Let's see what they have on them. Oh, MCV either rebuilt, potentially, or never died in the first place. I don't know what those picked up. But yeah, really knocking on his opponent's front door. This Disruption Tower is, that's a shame. EcLIpse just sold that. I'm not entirely sure what EcLIpse is going to be able to do at this point. The Disruption Tower is going to go down sooner or later, and this construction yard will be very vulnerable to the Marv. There, now, it's vulnerable. EcLIpse not really reacting well to this change of direction, not expanding over here. He's kind of long distance mining, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Looks like we have a bit of a base trade situation. We do have a, oh, it was a second construction yard. Wow, I missed that. But this stuff is not going to be enough to stop what's going on across the map with that Marv. We just have a couple of Scorpions and Venoms. There's not too much here. A lot of it was sold off and or killed, but there's a lot of vehicles and stuff over here. What EcLIpse does have going for him is an almost completed Redeemer, which is not nothing. A bunch of nastily upgraded infantry. And that's really about it. These structures will definitely go down, if not being sold. But we still have some power plants, and we still have, of course, a fully functional base over here. These Venoms are picking away at the harvesters, but it really feels like our GDI player has a solid lead right now. The Reclamator hub, or what was that? Why did he spin around like that? That was amazing. The Venoms finally being forced off. Almost all of them have been taken out by the APCs and missile infantry. Maybe they were missile infantry, maybe it was just the APCs. But we have 2 left, 1 left now, and that threat is probably eliminated. The Scorpion tanks are cleaning up stuff over here. This one might get picked off if he's unlucky. Oh, and he's heroic too. Wow, that was a bit of a waste there from EcLIpse. But things have kind of slowed down and gone to more of a standoff. Right now, though, TheGuest is the player who's currently getting income, at least steady income. This harvester isn't even doing anything anymore. So this base is getting picked off, but there's a massive army over here. I think this army is moving across the map. I'm not entirely sure what they're targeting, possibly just going around the long way to head off EcLIpse. EcLIpse stopping. This could be really bad for this poor MCV Conyard. Redeemer coming out to try to protect his Conyard, possibly push this army back. The Rage Gen, I'm sure, is ready to fire off on this army, which may help. There it goes. I think it is going to successfully get the army. It's not really decisive, though. Ooh, heroic stealth tank. Nice. Looks like we have a Juggernaut firing off. Always cool to see. There's still a lot of tanks here, though. They're taking out that minefield. I think there was a little bit of damage done. Marv going to... Not a lot here to take that Marv out. There's some stealth tanks, of course, but I'm not sure if that's going to be nearly enough. Marv is taking some serious damage, so maybe it will be enough. Marv being forced to back out. There's not much health left on it. Wow, TheGuest had such a commanding position, but now EcLIpse bringing it back, going to be able to start harvesting this, and now the tables have turned almost 180, where this base is being cleaned up. There's some stuff here, but TheGuest is going to be able to take this down. There, we got some sell-offs instead of letting them be killed. I think that's a good plan. So right now, EcLIpse is in a very fragile position. He's got like 2-3 buildings left, and when those buildings are gone, that's it. These Scorpion tanks being a bit of a nuisance, but I think there is just enough stuff here to take them out. But TheGuest is in really a precarious position. He's got a lot of buildings, but no resources. And on the other hand, we have EcLIpse with a lot of resources at this point, but no buildings. And there's a kind of a delicate window right now for TheGuest to make something happen before this becomes a liability and his army is not big enough to take out EcLIpse anymore. Weird spot for that MCV to set up. He's kind of hiding against the corner. The Redeemer is definitely the ace in the hole for EcLIpse. I'm not entirely sure where it is at this point. These stealth tanks being a huge nuisance. There are some pit bulls out to spot for them. But where's the Redeemer? There it is. The loss of that Marv was really bad for the Guest. There's still a lot of tanks here, and we do have some tier 3 mixed in, but it's starting to feel like he is not going to have enough to compete with this expanding. Well, there's not a lot of stuff here. We do have the opportunity to get some vehicles out again with this war factory coming back up. But we do have... We have tier 2. Where's the tier 2? Did that not die off? How is he getting stealth tanks? That cannot be a tier 1 vehicle. Here is... How can he build those? Very confused. This is a big army, but that rage generator is going to put a real hurt on EcLIpse. The stealth tank's not enough to do too much. Getting a shot in and backing off. I think he's going to have to rely on the rage generator at this point. There's just not enough army here. There goes the rage gen. No. There goes the rage gen. Let's see if that's anywhere near enough. It did not do too much. This mammoth tank is really hurt, which is a problem, but this is still a significant force. Infantry making a nuisance of themselves. Where's that MCV? Did it get sniped somehow? Has it moved? No, there it is. Hiding up against that apartment building. Yeah, so the Guest is kind of just long-distance mining everywhere, which is a real problem. These infantry not super effective, but still some APCs are dying, and every dead vehicle is a real hit against the Guest right now. Another MCV move. I guess EcLIpse is just trying to not put all of his eggs in one basket. We do have tier 2 up. We do have an air tower. I like that tech switch. Although we did... EcLIpse did cause these pit bulls to be trained with these stealth tanks. Not producing stealth tanks and producing scorpions instead would have made Predators the better choice. Now, there's not a lot of anti-air here. There are some APCs for the infantry and Predators for the vehicles, but any air attack is going to have to deal with the fact that there is more anti-air than there would be if EcLIpse was just going to go with scorpions. And anyway, this is a significant infantry force, and it's going to catch that harvester. The harvester might crush a couple of them, but I think ultimately it's going to go down. This is being split really well by EcLIpse, keeping them apart. But every harvester now, every loss at this point for the Guest is really going to be keenly felt and painful. This is a large tier 2 force, but there's no real opportunity at this point to get tier 3, and very little opportunity at all to get additional resources. Any additional resources the Guest gets at this point are going to be in a trickle. Don't throw away that APC. That would be a very bad idea. Oh, there it goes. APC being thrown away. There's no point in doing that. I do like this Pitbull harass. There are enough to make something happen, and the air tower was sold off. It looks like EcLIpse realized that that wasn't going to go anywhere, and he has reproduced his tier 3, the tech lab, which is helpful. There goes the rage generator, which is going to slow this down, but this right here is the Guest's last big opportunity to get in here and kill these buildings, maybe take out the Redeemer, maybe. Doesn't look like there's enough firepower here to take out the Redeemer. The mines are a nice touch, though. Actually, the mines seem to be saving the day a little bit. Wow, the mines actually, with the help of those tanks, took out the Redeemer. Stealth tanks and infantry now against this relatively depleted but still pretty nasty force. Had some sort of artillery support power go off here, potentially. I actually don't know what that is. I'm not familiar with that one. That might be a... I don't know. Looks cool, but I'm not entirely sure what it's doing. Question mark. Now EcLIpse with very little, but there's some resources now for him to harvest. Across the map, these missile troopers have been making a nuisance of themselves. I think one of those refineries went down, the other one almost did, but the pit bulls and APCs, the pit bulls have their mortars on them, which helps them with infantry. Really, really low in terms of building numbers for the guest, though, like 4 buildings. Oh, and those stealth tanks. Gonna be able to take out that factory. There it goes. And I think potentially the MCV was taken out too. I don't see it. And I do tend to miss stuff like that. So it's just vehicles? Possibly just tier 1 vehicles at this point. EcLIpse has done a really good job of keeping the guest, starving him out. Yeah, it looks like he's down to pit bulls and APCs, which I don't know if that's going to be enough. We do have tier 3 for EcLIpse and a crap ton of infantry with the Confessors and the Tiberium Infusion. Yeah, if the guest still has an MCV, I am not seeing it. It must have been taken out. I was focusing on combat here for quite a while. It's possible that there were some infantry or stealth tanks or something that came over to this side of the map to kill. It's still a decent force, but it's all tier 1. It's all pit bulls and APCs, and I don't think that there's much that's going to be able to stop these stealth tanks and what have you. Lone Juggernaut, there's that other factory that I don't think anything can protect this factory at this point. It was sold off, and the guest has been defeated. EcLIpse managed somehow to hold on. Half a match ago, the guest was inches from winning. The chart actually really seemed to tell the tale there. Actually, relatively even income. I'm surprised that that looks like that. Here's where EcLIpse was basically running out of money, but then he managed to pull that back off. But you can see where they kind of both hit a bad point, and then EcLIpse recovered and the guest did not. And the same thing here, where EcLIpse had some major losses, but then managed to really make that up. And there was, at that point, there was really nothing the guest could do to come back. So excellent match. A lot of fun to see. I like seeing this stuff in my Kane's Wrath. This is what I love about Command & Conquer. Anyway, this has been Wayward, and this has been Command & Conquer 3, Kane's Wrath 1.02. I will catch you next time.